What's good? Postman, liveoffbeach.com. This video, I'm gonna be giving you a cool story from the archives, from the producer community. I'm gonna give you the story about the Red Bull Big Tune battle, my experience in the Red Bull Big Tune beat battle that took place a few years ago. I just want to give you my experience and just, give you some cool stories for, if you want to hear about things that used to happen in the community that I don't see happening as much. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, to the channel if you haven't already. And also, we just give away so much good game and shit like that, so it's just giving back. So if you feel so inclined to, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you put your notifications on when a new video comes out. Now, the Red Bull, if you don't know, the Red Bull Big Tune beat battle, that's a lot to say, was a pretty popular, I think it turned out to be the biggest beat battles in the production space, in the production community. They used to put on these battles. Now, I don't know if they still do it. They may still do it, but at the time, these were really big battles they used to put on between producers, and it was a big event, man. It was a nice, well-done event. So I actually participated in one of these and was on stage, and I think at one of the biggest ones, that they did put on in Los Angeles, California. And I'll explain, the process and what went through and the experience. It was pretty cool, man, of what happened in that beat battle. So, also, I'll try to find the footage on the internet, because I got the footage online. They had the footage at least online of my battles and that particular Red Bull Big Tune. So I'll put that. Then I'll try to find it and put it in the description. If it's not, that means I didn't find it. But you can search for it. If you don't know what it is, just search for it. And I think that this was in 2010 or maybe 2011. That was maybe, so it was about 6-7 years ago that I was in this battle. So I mean, I know some of you you started producing 3-4 years ago. So it's like, this was before you even thought about producing, before you even downloaded your Free Loops. I was already battling and shit like that. So I've been doing this for a minute. And so also, man, some of the other producers, these other guys with videos, I'm trying to say, like, who are they? Like, they saying they help pioneer movements and they've been doing, but I'm like, I don't remember. There's no footage of you prior to 2014, 15. There's no footage of you doing anything in the community. Like, I don't see no receipts. So I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I'm trying to see. I don't remember seeing none of these guys out in the mix helping build the community and taking part in these activities. So I don't know. Maybe they did. I just didn't see it. But like I said, my shit is video documented. When I say that I helped build this community from the beginning of online shit, everything is documented. You could see dates and shit when I participated in shit, dates when I uploaded the first beat making video on YouTube in 2006. So there's a lot of dates on there that you could see, and when I say I did shit, like, it's there. So I don't know where these guys' receipts are. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm just saying I can't find none of that shit, none of the proof. But anyways, a lot of them look like just popped up on YouTube saying they producers that have been doing this and that. But anyways, I digress. So anyways, so back to the Red Bull Big Tune. So anyways, we got to the Red Bull Big Tune. So you just have to submit beats or whatever, and I can't remember how we got in, but we ended up getting into the battle. There's like a process. And so fast forward, we get accepted, and they say, okay, you're gonna be in the Red Bull Big Tune. Cool. So the first thing they do is, which is pretty cool, man. Like, I really respect what they was doing. Red Bull, yeah, like the drink. They put on like these events. They used to. So we meet up at the first day is you meet up at a restaurant in Hollywood, and it's a nice restaurant. They like rent out the entire restaurant. It's really nice. And then it's like you network, you just kind of network with the other producers. So we all in this nice restaurant, you know what I mean? And it's like a bar area. And then we just networking, talking to the people putting it on, talking to each other. And it was just really cool, man. It's just like that vibe you get when producers all come together. Guys who've been mastering this craft. But generally we're all spread out. We're on the internet. We're not really face to face. So to just get everybody, it felt good. You know what I mean? So we met the other producers. I think maybe a couple top producers were in there, a couple industry producers were there as well, and we just networking, man, having a good time. Then the dinner room, there was time they let us have dinner. We had like a dinner, and so it's like a room with just long ass tables. So the table was just like super freaking long, you know what I mean? And so we all sat around the table and you just chop it up, man. We order what you want. Like I said, this is all complimentary of Red Bull, so appreciate that, man. That was real classy of them to do that. And it was a good time, man. You just chopping up with the guys who was putting it on, who was running it. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was just a classy thing, man. You know what I mean? So that was day one. You go and you meet everybody, meet and greet, and then we had like a great dinner. So they put that on, and then the next, I want to say that Saturday is the actual battle. So the battle, you know, the battle was pretty dope. It was at this theater called El Rey Theater in Los Angeles, California, and this theater holds about 200 to 300 people. So, you know, when you think of beat battle, you're thinking about 20 people. I'm like, no, it was about 300 to 400 people in the crowd. So I'll get to that in a second. But it was at this place called the El Rey Theater, and it was a great move because the El Rey Theater had like an old feel, right? But it wasn't raggedy. It was nice, but it was like an older feel, so it felt like that battle mood. Like, you know, if it would have been like a venue that was just too clean, like sometimes you see these battle raps now, and they're in these clean venues, the shit looks like, you know, modern. Like, that's not like that's not the atmosphere you want to be battling in and music. This had like a hip-hop feel, like a feel of like, you know what I'm saying, authenticity to it. So I love the feel of the theater that they had. So the day of the battle, actually I was with a team, so me and my partner, we had this idea, which I don't know if it was a good idea, but we was like, okay, we're in the West Coast. This is LA. Let's do like a theme. Let's like kind of do like a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? So I decided I was gonna wear like an old school West Coast plaid shirt, like the kind of shit you would see Snoop wear. So I had like this blue plaid shirt on, like button up, button all to the top. Then I had like these lokes on, like the sunglass lokes. So I just to stand out, just to kind of, you know what I'm saying, I know, like, because you can battle with just the beats, but also when you're dealing with a crowd, I know, like, if you can stand out, if you can get the crowd high, if it can, you know what I'm saying? So I decided to put on, like, this kind of a costume, but it was cool, though. People, like, really liked it. And I had, like, these blue earrings, just looking like an old school West Coast artist, you know what I'm saying? So, because it felt like it was on the West Coast, that might give us a leg up. And so, the day of the battle, I get dressed, whatever. So now it's time to get to the theater, you know? And when you get there, I mean, we the producers have to get there early, so we get there early, you know, and it was really cool because you get there and like all the producers are there, and then they had like pizza. They had like more pizza than you could ever fucking dream about, right? Like they took care of I mean, they had like 80 boxes of free pizza. So I mean, you pretty much eat all the pizza you want, and then like they had like a special section for the producers. You know what I'm saying? Like towards the stage, like a roped off VIP. So we felt a little special, you know what I'm saying? When you got the little access, you know what I'm saying? You know, so they had like a little section that we know where the producers who were participating was, you know what I'm saying? And then so before everything got started, you know, they interviewed us. So that felt good too, you know, this professional camera crew, and they interviewed you, ask you about your sound, how you develop, who you are, where you from. So it felt good. It made us feel like we were important. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like this was a real thing, you know, because producers, we don't get that type of love. Usually we're in the background. People don't give a shit about us. You know what I mean? It's just like, make their music and shut up. You know, the artist gets all the glory. They get all the credit for making hits, records and shit, when it's really us in the background. So they made us feel good. So I liked it. I really enjoyed that. Shout out to Rev. That was a great experience. And so they interviewed us and you know, got like, hey, who are you? What's your, you know, with a professional camera and everything. And then it was good. I mean, it was good stuff. You know what I mean? And so now the battle's about to start. So now your butterflies start to kick in, because now, you know, you don't really know how many people are really coming. Now it's a nice sized theater, nice sized auditorium, nice sized place. You know, and it's like a dance. It's set up more of a, you know, they got the seats on the side, you know, little booths, you know, for VIP, and then they got, you know, the middle part is just like all open to where standing room, so you could stand up. It's not really like chairs and shit like that, so it's all standing up. And there's a stage. The stage is set up nice. They got the DJ, you know, shit back there, professional laid out. The stage is lit. The stage is, they really put their foot in the stage. And you on one side, and you give them and the way it works is you give them your tracks and tell them what order to play the tracks in. You know what I'm saying? This is my first beat for the first round, second round. So you give them all the tracks in advance. And you have to have it cut at a certain time. So you have to, you know, you just have to make sure your shit right. And the DJ shit was lit. Notch was there, so that was dope. Notch did like a set where he played like all his hit records, all his records. So that shit was dope. He was like the super producer, you know, guest producer there. And so anyways, the battle starts getting started. So now, you know, that's when your butterflies start to kick in. Because you're like, okay, how many people actually come to this thing? You know, I invited some people, and, you know, when when you start going outside, you start seeing that line, you're like, oh my goodness. This ain't no little group thing. I'm like, oh shit. And there's a line forming down a block to get in this thing. I'm like, oh man, this is getting real. You know what I'm saying? Like this is gonna be real. Like we on stage, we on Front Street. This ain't no little thing. So when it's all said and done, it's literally 300 to 400 people in here, and I'm like, oh shit. Like standing room only, packed, like sold out, like nobody else can get in, and it's still a line outside. I'm like, yo, this is about to be crazy. All to hear is battle. So boom. Fast forward, now it's time for the introduction. So they're like, okay, all the producers gotta go on stage. Nigga, the people's ready, everything lit, niggas getting drunk, they got the bar set up. I mean, it's crazy in there. So now they say, okay, all the producers come on stage and you introduce yourself. So basically, we line up on stage, you say your name and where you're from. So now something crazy happened. This is the first crazy thing that happened. So backstory. So at this time, it's the playoffs. It's the NBA playoffs. It's the Western Conference Finals. And it was a heated playoff battle between the Suns and the Lakers. So that tells you right there how far back this goes. Suns ain't been good, and I don't know how long. Lakers ain't been good, even worse. So it was the Suns versus the Lakers. The Phoenix Suns versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Now we're in Los Angeles. Now I'm gonna tell you why I'm telling you this. So the partner I was with at the time, my production partner, he was from Arizona. So he was from Phoenix. And they were in a bitter rivalry at this time. I think it was going to Game 7, right? It was going. The next day was like Game 7. So it was a bitter rivalry. So we're on stage, and the unthinkable happened. I'm like, yo, I'm Postman, and I know I'm repping. I'm like, I'm from LA, I'm from South Central Los Angeles. So I'm like, I'm from South Central Los Angeles, Crenshaw represent. You know, and people like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So then he get the mic, and he say, yo, it's Trauma, I'm from Arizona, and then everybody just boos, like, boo, boo. So I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? And he like, yo, I'm from Arizona. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm trying to make it, you know, I know he felt a certain type of way, though, because it's like, you got 300-400 people just booing you at one time. That already set the stage for us in the battle. Like, it already was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck them, you know what I'm saying? Like, they, you know what I'm saying? So it already, it kind of, I mean, I don't feel like it influenced the battle too much, but I feel like, you know, that kind of had a little effect. You know what I'm saying? I know it had an effect on him. I mean, you got 300-400 people booing you because you say you're from Arizona, so that was unfortunate, man. And then this is the funniest part. There was another guy from Arizona there, and if you watching this, bro, you know, come on, bro. So he was from Arizona too, because they knew each other. So he was in a battle too, and he was like further down the road. So when they got to him, he was like, he damn sure wasn't about to say. He was like, I'm from wherever y'all from, you know. It was like, that don't make no sense. But it was just like, oh, you know, okay, whatever. Because he didn't want to say that shit because he seen what just happened to my partner. You know, and side note, I don't know if I could have did that. Like, I get it, but I mean, I don't know if I could not rep where I'm from. We just very different in LA, man, especially South Central. Like, I would have to wear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got my Crenshaw hat with me. Like, I can't just let y'all punk me out of telling y'all where that's where I'm from. That's where I grew up. So I feel like he still should have just been like, I'm from Arizona. What? I'm repping. You know what I'm saying? Like, what it is. I'm from Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? You know. What's up? You know, hey man, I can't help. That's where I was born. That's where I'm from. That's what made me who I am. So, you know, if y'all gonna boo me for that, that's cool. But I got to stand on it. So I felt like he should have stood on that. You know what I'm saying? But I can't blame somebody if they like just seen another motherfucker get booed off stage, like basically booed like crazy, and it's like telling you to do that. So I can understand that. So I just side note, I just feel like I just feel like that was a little bit. A little bit shaky right there, bro. Like, I'm from where y'all from, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. At least name a city that's away from Arizona. They don't know. Like, yo, I'm from Mesa. And they'd have been like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just trying to say. So, anyways, so that's done. So, anyways, now it's time for the battle, right? It's time to get battle tested. Now, mind you, this is my first beat battle like this. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to preface this. And I made some critical mistakes, right? We made some critical errors. But at the same time, it turned to a blessing. So, I'm going to tell you about these critical errors. We made some critical errors.